They told you it was just wear and tear. They told you that once the cushion in your knees or hips is gone, it's gone forever, and your only future is a cabinet full of painkillers or a date with a surgeon for a titanium replacement. Well, what if I told you the latest medical science says that old way of thinking is officially outdated? I'm talking about a breakthrough in joint health that doesn't involve a pharmacy or a scalpel. Today, we are diving deep into a specific, science-backed approach that is showing the potential to actually repair and cushion your joints, even if you're well into your 60s, 70s, or 80s. If you felt like your world is shrinking because it hurts to walk to the mailbox or play with your grandkids, listen closely. We aren't just going to manage your pain today. We're going to talk about rebuilding your foundation. By the end of this video, you'll have a step-by-step protocol to help your body do what it was designed to do: heal. First, let's address the elephant in the room. You've probably been told you are bone on bone. That sounds terrifying, doesn't it? It sounds like a death sentence for your mobility. But here is the secret. Cartilage is not a dead piece of plastic. It is a living, breathing, cellular tissue. It's made of cells called chondrocytes. And just like the skin on your arm or the muscles in your legs, those cells respond to their environment. The problem isn't that your body can't repair cartilage. It's that as we age, we stop giving our bodies the raw materials and the biological signals it needs to start the renovation project. We're going to change that today. To help you move toward that massive word count goal, I have expanded this section into a deep dive masterclass style script. This version uses analogies, storytelling, and detailed explanations to keep the viewer engaged for a long duration. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. I want you to visualize your joints not as static hinges, but as an active construction site. If you walked onto a job site and told the crew to build a wall, but you didn't give them any supplies, they'd just sit there. That is exactly what happens in your knees and hips every day when you eat a standard diet. Think of your cartilage like a brick wall. If the wall is crumbling due to years of use, you can't just wish it back together. You can't just hope it feels better. You need the physical materials to patch the holes. You need the bricks, you need the mortar, and you desperately need the mason. Most people have heard of collagen by now. It's the big trend in the beauty industry. People take it for their skin, their hair, and their nails. But here is where most seniors make a critical mistake. Not all collagen is created equal. If you go to the store and buy a random tub of collagen peptides, you are likely getting type 1 and type 3. Now, those are great if you want fewer wrinkles on your forehead, but your joints? They don't care about type 1. Your joint cartilage is specifically made of type 2 collagen. Type 2 is the heavy-duty stuff. It is the specific protein fiber that gives your cartilage its tensile strength. That's the ability to be pulled and stretched without snapping. Without enough type 2, your cartilage becomes brittle like a piece of dry rot wood. How to source the bricks? The traditional way. Our grandparents knew something we've forgotten. They didn't throw away the bones. They made bone broth. Specifically, broth made from chicken feet or sternum is incredibly rich in type 2. When you simmer those joints down, you are literally melting the bricks into a liquid you can drink. The supplement way. If you aren't into boiling bones for 24 hours, look for undenatured type 2 collagen, UC2. The word undenatured is key. It means the protein hasn't been damaged by heat, so your immune system recognizes it and uses it to stop the attack on your joints. If the collagen is the brick, then glucosamine and chondroitin are the mortar that holds everything in place. You've probably seen these two paired together on labels for years, but let me explain what they actually do, because it's fascinating. Chondroitin, in particular, acts like a liquid magnet. Why does that matter? Because cartilage is a strange tissue, it doesn't have blood vessels. It relies on being hydrated to stay bouncy. Imagine a brand new kitchen sponge. It's soft, it's thick, and it bounces back when you squeeze it. Now imagine that same sponge left out in the sun for a week. It becomes hard, thin, and it cracks if you bend it. That sun-dried sponge is what osteoarthritis looks like. Chondroitin's job is to magnetically pull water into the cartilage tissue. This keeps the shocks in your knees plump and hydrated. When you walk, you aren't just hitting bone. You're hitting a pressurized water cushion. If you are dehydrated or lacking this mortar, your shocks go flat, and that is when the pain starts. Pro tip for seniors: don't just take a pill and expect a miracle in an hour. Mortar takes time to set. Studies show that these nutrients need to be in your system consistently for 6 to 12 weeks before the wall starts feeling solid again. Now, here's the part that almost everyone misses. You can have a pile of bricks, collagen, and a pile of mortar, glucosamine, sitting on your lawn, but if the mason doesn't show up to work, the wall never gets built. In your body, the master mason is vitamin C. Most people think vitamin C is just for the common cold. But in the world of joint repair, vitamin C is the enzyme cofactor that glues the collagen strands together. It's called hydroxylation. Without enough vitamin C, your body can't form the triple helix structure of collagen. It's like trying to build a house with wet noodles instead of steel rebar. And then there's manganese. This is a trace mineral that acts as the foreman on the job site. It activates the enzymes that allow your body to create those liquid magnets, the chondroitin we just talked about. If you're taking joint supplements but you're deficient in vitamin C and manganese, you are essentially throwing your money in the trash. Your body will just flush those expensive bricks away because it doesn't have the tools to install them. This is why I always recommend eating a bell pepper or a bowl of strawberries alongside your joint protocol. You've got to give the mason his tools. Now, we need to have a serious heart-to-heart about movement. This is the part of the video where most people want to tune out because, let's be honest, when your knees feel like they're filled with broken glass, the last thing you want to do is go for a walk. This is where most people, and even some outdated medical advice, get it completely wrong. They think, my joints hurt, they must be wearing out, so I should sit down and save what's left. It sounds logical, right? If the tires on your car are balding, you drive less to save the rubber. But your body is not a car. Your body is a biological organism that thrives on use. In fact, for a senior with osteoarthritis, saving your joints by sitting on the couch is actually the fastest way to destroy them. Here is the scientific reason why: the sponge effect. Think about your muscles for a second. If you want to grow your biceps, your heart pumps blood directly to the muscle, carrying oxygen and protein. Your muscles have a direct delivery service. But cartilage? Cartilage is a loner. It has no direct blood supply, no veins, no arteries. It sits there in the dark, isolated. So, how on earth does it get the bricks and mortar we talked about in the last chapter? How does it get the vitamin C and the collagen type 2 it needs to stay alive? It uses a process called diffusion, and it only happens through movement. Imagine a kitchen sponge sitting at the bottom of a bucket of clean water. If that sponge just sits there, only the very outer edges get fresh water. But if you reach in and squeeze that sponge, you force the old, dirty water out. When you release your grip, the sponge expands and sucks the fresh, clean, nutrient-rich water into its center. When you sit still for hours, watching TV, reading, or sleeping, your cartilage is starving. The waste products, the metabolic trash that your cells create, just sits there stagnating. This leads to what we call morning stiffness. It's not just that you're old. It's that your joint fluid has turned into thick, cold molasses because it hasn't been pumped. When you stop moving, the cartilage becomes brittle. It starts to thin out because it literally doesn't have the energy to maintain itself. This is why the rest approach is a trap. The less you move, the more it hurts to move, so the less you move, and the cycle continues until you're facing surgery. So what is the solution? Am I telling you to go run a marathon? Absolutely not. That would be like trying to squeeze a dry, brittle sponge as hard as you can. It might snap. We use what I call the micro-movement strategy. These are 5-minute habits designed to grease the groove without causing a flare-up. We aren't training for the Olympics. We are acting as a manual pump for your synovial fluid. 1. The motion is lotion morning ritual before you even get out of bed. While you're still under the covers, I want you to perform bed cycling. Lying on your back, gently move your legs as if you're pedaling a very slow bicycle in the air. This begins the sponge effect without the weight of your body pressing down on the joint. You're pumping in the nutrients before you even ask your knees to carry your weight. 2. The 20-minute rule. Set a timer. For every 20 minutes you sit, you must stand or move for 2 minutes. Even if it's just marching in place while holding onto the back of a chair. This prevents the synovial fluid from thickening. Think of it like a pot of soup on the stove. If you don't stir it, it sticks to the bottom and burns. You are stirring the soup of your joints. 3. The pendulum swing. If you have hip or knee pain, find a high chair or a counter. Let one leg hang loose and gently swing it back and forth like a clock pendulum. This creates distraction, a tiny bit of space in the joint capsule, which allows the fluid to coat the surfaces that usually rub together. It's like applying WD-40 to a squeaky hinge. The goal here is compression and release. Swimming is fantastic because the water provides the release, while the kicking provides the compression. Cycling on a low-resistance stationary bike is a cartilage builder's dream. It's a constant, rhythmic pumping of the sponge. By doing this, you are telling your body, hey, we're still using this joint. Send more resources here. You are literally signaling your DNA to keep the cartilage-building cells, those chondrocytes, active and awake. You don't need to be an athlete. You just need to be a pumper. If you can commit to these micro-movements, you will stop the rusting process in its tracks. You aren't just moving, you're feeding your future self. You cannot rebuild a house while it's on fire. Chronic inflammation is the fire that melts your cartilage. We're going to talk about the big 3 fire extinguishers. 1. Curcumin, the active ingredient in turmeric, but with a twist. You're likely taking it wrong. I'll show you the black pepper secret. 2. Omega-3 fatty acids, the high-dose strategy to lubricate the joint from the inside out. 3. Sugar elimination. Why your morning pastry is actually eating your joint tissue through a process called glycation. Information without action is just a nice story. And I don't want to just tell you a story today. I want to see you walking more fluidly 30 days from now. To do that, we have to move from theory to execution. We are going to break your day into 3 critical phases. Think of this as your daily work order for that construction site we talked about. If you follow this 30-day protocol, you are giving your body the best possible chance to flip the switch from degeneration to regeneration. The moment you open your eyes, your joints are at their most vulnerable. They've been stagnant for 6 to 8 hours. The fluid is thick and the sponge is dry. Here is your step-by-step morning routine. Step 1. The 16-ounce internal flush before your feet even hit the floor. I want you to drink 16 ounces of room temperature water. Why? Because your cartilage is 80% water. If you wake up dehydrated, your joints are literally shrunken. By drinking water immediately, you increase the volume of your synovial fluid. For an extra boost, add a pinch of Himalayan sea salt. The trace minerals help that water actually enter the cells rather than just passing through you. Step 2. The bed cycle activation while still lying on your back. Perform 60 seconds of gentle air cycling. This greases the wheels before you put the full weight of your body on your knees and hips. You are telling your brain, the construction crew is waking up. Send the fluid to the knees. Step 3. The anti-stiffness shower. When you hop in the shower, let the warm water hit your affected joints for 3 full minutes. This heat dilates the surrounding blood vessels, bringing fresh blood and those nutrients we've been talking about to the areas surrounding the joint capsule. Between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. is when your metabolism is most active. This is the delivery window. We want to flood your system with the raw materials while your circulation is at its peak from morning activity. The recipe for the cartilage cocktail: non-liquid and liquid options. You want to combine your bricks, your mortar, and your mason in one sitting. The supplement stack: take your undenatured type 2 collagen and your glucosamine/chondroitin complex now. The catalyst: consume this with a high-dose vitamin C source. I recommend a glass of water with fresh squeezed lemon and a teaspoon of ginger juice. The ginger acts as a carrier, reducing gut inflammation so you actually absorb the expensive supplements you just swallowed. The protein anchor: ensure your lunch has at least 30 grams of high-quality protein. Your body cannot repair any tissue, cartilage included, if it is in a protein deficit. For my vegan viewers, this is where a high-quality pea and rice protein blend becomes essential. Directly after this cocktail, take a 10-minute slow walk. This ensures that the nutrients you just ingested are pumped directly into the cartilage via that sponge effect we discussed in Chapter 4. If you just eat the nutrients and sit on the couch, they stay in your bloodstream. You have to move to force feed the joint. The goal of the evening is to shut down the inflammation fire so your body can focus on repair while you sleep. Repair happens during deep sleep, but it can't happen if the joint is hot and swollen. Step 1. The golden milk ritual: 1 hour before bed. Make a cup of warm turmeric milk or a turmeric supplement. Remember the black pepper secret: curcumin is not absorbed well unless it's paired with piperine, black pepper, and a healthy fat. Use coconut milk or add a tiny bit of grass-fed butter. This acts as a natural ibuprofen, calming the joint so the repair cells can get to work. Step 2. The zero-gravity elevation: if your knees or ankles are swollen, spend 15 minutes with your legs elevated above your heart. This uses gravity to drain the trash, the metabolic waste, out of the joint area, making room for fresh fluid to move in overnight. Step 3. Magnesium topical application: rub a magnesium oil or lotion directly onto the muscles around the joint. Magnesium relaxes the muscles that are likely guarding your painful joint. When the muscles relax, the joint space opens up, allowing for better breathing of the tissue during the night. I want you to take a piece of paper and draw 30 squares. Put this on your fridge. Week 1. Focus on the hydration flush. Just get the water in. Week 2. Add the cartilage cocktail. Week 3. Incorporate the evening recovery. Week 4. Full protocol. By the end of day 30, your chondrocyte won't just be surviving, they will be thriving. You'll notice that first step stiffness in the morning starts to vanish. That is the sign that the bricks and mortar are taking hold. Getting older doesn't have to mean getting stiffer. You have more power over your biology than you've been led to believe. You aren't rusting out. You've just been missing the right tools. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button. It helps this message reach other seniors who are struggling in silence.